going ham again on the mic.
Yeah, that's better.
I forgot that I get to go. Okay.
Yeah, so
your boy's getting to use his mic now, and I don't have to, have it all the way up. So that works out great.
He's adjusting.
I'm adjusting.
But yeah, we're back.
We're back. How's it going, bro?
It's going good, bro. We are on episode 4.
Episode 4.
On this journey.
We officially have an Instagram, a TikTok, and a YouTube channel.
You want to give people those handles? We can put them on the screen.
Yeah, they are NM Farmers Market, and we'll put all the links or whatever so you guys can check them out. So
yeah, so we're officially up, been getting some good feedback, and we appreciate all the support. We've been getting a lot of more views than for the number of followers we have. We do
TikTok's popping off.
Yeah, TikTok is crazy.
TikTok's popping.
But we're just gonna keep it going and keep it rolling, and we got some interesting topics today.
Yeah, man.
Might not be as long of an episode, because we might double up and do one maybe Friday. We're still on the fence on that, but
we'll figure it out. We'll see how we're going.
There's a reason for that. It's because sometimes some things that we say end up happening, and we're just like, we need to talk about that. And it's been pretty crazy. Like a lot of things have.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do you want to start? Do you want to start talking about how Halloween went and everything?
Yeah, let's talk about how Halloween. So you guys saw us one day prior to Halloween.
One thing I want to start doing at the beginning is announcing the date.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. So what's today? The
November 4th,
7th. Yep.
Oh, 7th.
November 7th.
Sorry. See, don't listen to me. It's the 7th.
Yo, Siri, chill. She's like, what? What's going on?
Because every time I think we do things, people probably think like, oh, these guys are posting things late. But the reason we post them is because we actually
are editing and going back, and then sometimes we'll say something and then it happens. So we talked about in the last pod how we talked about how Steve Nash wasn't going to get through November, and homie literally didn't get. He got to November 1st and got fired. So that was I think a good call on us. I think we definitely foreshadowed that.
We were literally. So the crazy thing is like I think. I'm not gonna lie. I think he got fired even before I thought he was gonna get fired. Like I thought at least like mid-November.
Bro, I told the dudes at the barbershop I didn't think he was gonna get through 2 weeks. Bro, he didn't make it. I got the haircut like on Saturday or something like that. Homie didn't make it till Monday.
Fired November 1st.
Yeah, homie made it to like or Tuesday. Yeah, so dude.
He didn't make it through November, but you could almost say he didn't even make it through October. Like
bro barely made it to October. Bro barely made it to November.
Yeah, it's a fucked up situation, and even like what they're trying to do right now, like
trying to bring in Ime.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. We'll keep you updated on that one. I don't really.
We'll follow up on that one.
But yeah, Halloween.
Halloween. So we gave out candy to the trick-or-treaters like we promised.
Yeah.
Didn't get as much as we got last year, that's for sure. I feel like we had way more. We went through 3 bags last year, and we only went through 2 bags this year.
Yeah, and I'm going to be real, like half of that bag we were eating while we were sitting here. So.
We definitely were snacking on that, bro. We were giving double scoops even to try to get through it.
At the end, I was just throwing them
in. Taking it. You know what, though? The house definitely got skipped over, and I took that personally. I went MJ on that. I definitely took that personally. Literally broke out pathway lights because I thought the pathway to my front door looked too dark, and if I was like a parent, I definitely wouldn't have been like, I see the colored lights, but I'm definitely not taking them to that because it was just a long walkway to the front door. And so we literally adjusted. We pivoted mid Halloween sesh, got some lights up, looked lit. I might put a clip. We might show a photo. We might not, but they look pretty lit afterwards. Literally.
The scramble was fun. It was a scramble to get them up. I had like 3 people helping us to do that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess 2. Yeah, my bad. My math isn't the best. But no, it was funny. So like we were over here thinking like, oh, maybe because of the things we talked about, like not that it was our influence, but just people in general were like not going trick or treating. And then I heard from my sister and my coworker Maddie, shout out Maddie, that up in Ladera, like it was popping. Like it was the most insane thing. Like she said, my coworker Maddie said her parents went through 7 bags of candy.
Dude, that's wild because I had another friend that said that it was crickets on their end too.
Yeah, so and my sister said on the west side, where her mother-in-law lives, that it was crazy over there too.
It's tough, and it was a Monday, so that didn't help either. So
yeah, I think it was a combination of things. Like if I had to guess, it's just like parents being very cautious and understanding. Like if I'm going to take my kids trick or treating, we're going to the
well lit, nicer neighborhoods.
Because I don't want to say like that's the only nice neighborhood, right? But they're probably just like there's a ton of houses here in a row. These are all like generally nicer homes. Yeah. Let's just go over here.
Yeah.
And so
And then might as well say my cul-de-sac's kind of hidden so far, and we'll keep it that way. God willing. That's okay. I'm fine with it.
Stay on the DL.
You gotta stay on the DL. Yeah,
no,
man.
but it was cool, man. We still had a good time. Always have a good time, and I think with the addition of the pathway lights,
yeah, they looked lit afterwards,
and a couple more ideas for next year.
Yeah, we definitely got some plans for next year. So
it's gonna be lit.
Literally. Yeah. All right. What else? Okay, so we talked about that. We have a couple of topics that we want to go. Do you want to pick the topics, or do you want me to pick the first one?
Oh my gosh, we talked about a lot of stuff.
I was about to say
we're going to talk about, and then I always do this. I space it every time we get on here.
All right.
And we're about to talk.
See.
Hold on, give me 1 second. We're gonna throw another thing on here.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, it was movies.
Okay.
I had upcoming movies. So, I'll try not to do that much spoilers. So I just went and watched the Black Adam movie, and Black Panther's around the corner. Have you haven't watched Black Adam yet?
No, I have not.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say I like The Rock. I really do. I like that character. He's lit. Bro, I don't know who approved the dialogue for this movie. Like, I don't like the fight scenes, fantastic. Action scenes, awesome. Dialogue, like if The Rock wasn't in the movie, this is a straight to DVD movie. A straight to that's how bad the dialogue. It is so dry. Cringy. No, it is so the cringiest, cheesiest dialogue I've ever heard in a movie of that caliber. And I'm like, The Rock, I don't know how you're okay with this. Like, I have no idea. So the funny thing about that is that whenever they were talking about The Rock and the coming of them making this movie, they pretty much were like, oh, The Rock was so supportive of us freestyling and putting in our own dialogue and doing this. Don't. That dialogue was sus. It was so. Yeah, man. I go check it out. Fight scenes are legit. Don't know how it got through that many checks and balances to come out with that dialogue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes me kind of want to wait till it comes to DVD.
I would wait. Black Panther looks lit, though.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just around the corner, too. That's this Friday.
I'm interested to see how they play off
T'Challa.
Yeah, well, how they get rid of him. What are they going to say? What does that look like? Yeah.
Are they going to pretty much, yeah.
Maybe
is R.I.P. Chadwick.
How do you feel about that? If they animate him in just to kill him off, how do you feel about that? I feel like that's...
I don't think they're going to.
No, because I don't think that's okay. I don't know.
I don't think it is. I think that people have to tread lightly. So I really think that they're probably just going to, they're going to reference him. Yeah. They'll show clips of him, and I think it's going to be almost like a memorial to him.
That's what I think.
And
maybe they'll just...
R.I.P. He is one of my favorite actors.
Same.
So it's so sad that he ended up passing away and that nobody knew about it. And I remember actually whenever he was not doing well, there was a photo of him and he looked really thin.
Yeah. And
I was like, he's sick. He's literally sick. Something's going on. And one of our buddies was like, oh no, he's getting ready for a role. And I was like, I don't think so. And then literally within the week or two came out that he had cancer. And it's so R.I.P.
for real.
To Chadwick,
it sucks, man. Because he fit that role perfect. I can't imagine anyone else.
I don't think they'll ever recast it too.
No,
I hope not either. So,
speaking of spoilers, so this guy, so we're just gonna go on a tangent here. So everyone has their thing. We talk about how we're pretty good at calling things in basketball games, and they'll say him, and he's good at that. For UFC, I'm pretty good at that at NFL.
Football.
Well, when we're watching movies, he does that for the movie. He'll legit we'll be watching a movie, and I have a hard time watching a movie with him, not because he talks or anything. He literally will tell me one thing, and it'll be oh, this such and such is gonna happen, and he'll say it I figured it out. And then I try to I'm a bad liar, so I'll look at him and be like, no, why? I don't know, why would you think that? And then he knows right away. He's like, oh my god, bro, I just called the damn movie. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I'm like,
dude, that's like, it's and I really do feel bad for like people that watch movies with me, because I'm like, I either figure it out pretty early on, but then I feel compelled to say what it is. And I feel like I have to say what it is, because if I don't say what it is and then it happens and then I say I knew it was that, then people are going to be like, no, you didn't.
Every fucking time. And then even so The Terminalist, amazing show on Amazon. I definitely recommend.
Oh, that's a good
watched
one.
it.
It's fantastic.
Fucking 3 episodes, not even the third.
It was like episode 1 or 2.
Episode 2, I think. And he kind of picked up on the twist. He fucking tells me, and I'm cussing because I'm pissed. Like, I'm literally mad. I'm like, dude, he's not going to get this. Like, it was a great show, and he fucking called it, and I'm just like, but we did watch a movie the other night, and he messed up his sister.
I did it. My sister figured it out. Yeah, because that scenario ran through my head, and I was just like, there's no way that it's gonna end that way. They can't do it. And then sure enough, like, my sister called it.
So funny, because
shout out that movie, because that movie was fire. I can't remember what the name of it is.
We'll look it up. We'll put it on here. We'll throw a picture of it.
Fire movie. It's like a very like coming of age movie, but it's it just seems like a classic, like one of those 90s early 2000s movie of like some high schooler going through high school nonsense. But it was a chill movie.
Yeah, it was good.
It was on Paramount, was it?
Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a dope movie.
I laughed so hard though, because he should have known. He literally looked at me, and I straight up was like, no. I was like, no. And then his sister asked me. I didn't even know. I was like, I don't know.
Dude, I ran through that scenario. I was like, and then stuff was happening. I was like, it's too early for this stuff to be happening. Like, something's about to come over. Yeah. So that was a pretty good movie.
So, yeah, those 2 movies coming out should be pretty good.
Yeah.
Or, well, I mean, Black Adam's already out, but Black Panther.
Any other movies that you can think of?
Nothing right now. We just saw the one for like The Menu. Is that what it's called?
Oh, that one looks legit.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely
movie,
looks.
but it would definitely be something I'd be interested in watching if it's like a.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the Rotten Tomatoes or the critics say, because it looks interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
We should check that one out.
That's pretty much it for like the movies. I mean, there's probably other movies, but as far as like movies I could think of.
Oh, Avatar. When does Avatar come out?
Oh man, is it Christmas again? No, we need to check. We'll
look on that. That's one that I'm like hype about. Which, considering,
what's crazy is I wasn't on the Avatar train.
Even the first one, you didn't like the first one?
So I was only mad because I was mad that they were able to keep that name and not allow the actual Avatar to keep.
Oh, like the Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender, right? And it kind of.
Aren't they supposed to come out with like a new show on
Netflix? Yeah. But that was my only thing, and it kind of kept me from watching the movie. And I don't know, I was a kid, I was being petty. But then when I finally watched it, it was a great movie, man. It's a very good movie. James Cameron is.
He killed it. That was like. It was like the top grossing movie for like the longest time.
It really was. Yeah. Even if you think about it, like I think it was for a long time, even with inflation and everything, it was still.
It was crazy. Yeah. So that I'm stoked about that one. And then, is there any other?
Give me like 2 seconds.
There's nothing that I'm coming. None that's coming to mind.
We are gonna check right now. Ignore my breathing. I mean, there's other movies out right now, but those are like the ones that I'm like
main ones.
Yeah, that are just kind of like, I don't know, that are worth talking about. The other ones look pretty good. I'm sure there's gonna be people that are like, these guys are idiots.
Yep.
And we're okay with that.
All right. Let's see. Okay.
Okay. So interesting thing that happened.
Yeah.
On the last podcast.
Oh, there we go. Let's talk about that. Let's follow up on a couple of the things that we like have stated, but it ended up actually coming true.
Right. So interesting thing. So like on the last podcast, sorry, I gotta stop touching that. Hold on, let me stop this because it's vibrating. I talked about how like NFL teams need to invest in grass.
Yeah.
Because
you were like definitely. You were like, yo, this is like a big thing, like a hot topic, which I wasn't aware of until you brought up. Well, I knew of it, but I didn't realize how big of a concern it was. And then, interesting enough, you kind of...
so Devondre Campbell from the Packers, like, literally tweeted out, like, how he's annoyed with everything because in the past 2 weeks they played on turf and they've had people get hurt. And he's literally like, y'all need to invest in some money into these fields. And that's what we talk about. Like, you pay these guys all this freaking money and you can't invest in some grass. Like, I know the maintenance isn't easy, especially if you have a dome. But if the Cardinals can figure it out, I think everyone could. And I think Baltimore's not a dome, though.
I don't know. Are they outside? Are they outside?
Yeah. But it's just one of those things, man. Like, I don't understand how you could. I think it's, like you said, it's a drop in the bucket for them to have a grass field. And their big complaint is, like, when they plant and they do things, it's like doing it on concrete, and that's why they keep tearing their ACLs and having all these knee injuries, and it's just insane, man. Like,
it's just one of those things that if I'm a player and I know that I would rather be playing on grass versus turf, and that's kind of like a blanket statement, or pretty much everybody's on board with it, then they probably need to go about trying to put together the safest environment. They're worried about all these helmets and pads and making sure they're trying to minimize injuries. Well, if your players are telling you, hey, we don't get as hurt whenever we're playing on grass as we do on turf, then I think that's something that all the teams should be considering.
100%. And like, I hate to say this, they can afford it, right? Like, it's not an issue. I understand why some teams don't do it, and it has a lot to do with they have other events going on in the stadiums, so then it's just a pain to take out all the turf, and then, not take out all the turf, but to take out all the grass, and then move in, like, the flooring and everything. When you have, like, for example, a lot of these stadiums have, like, monster truck events. They'll have concerts. Yeah. So with grass, I'm pretty sure you have to remove it all and then put in flooring. With turf, I think you can just put it right over the top. Like, you just put a layer over the top. I'm not 100% on that one.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not sure either.
But yeah, man, if the Raiders can figure it out, like, the Raiders have a grass field indoor. Arizona has a grass field indoor. So, I mean, it can be done. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if this becomes like a thing that, as more big time players start to get hurt and it happens more frequently, because I think these guys are getting faster and stronger.
Yeah.
As an owner, I think a good investment would be to have a grass field to make sure I'm minimizing any chance.
Well, it sounds like if I'm a player, I definitely want to be playing on grass. So I think that's something that I hope that probably comes up, or if that's at least in the Players Association or something that they're bringing up as, like,
Well, like Michael Gallup for Dallas last year, right? Popped his his ACL on a plant to jump up and catch the ball, and he made the touch, great, amazing catch, but he tore it when he planted and he jumped up playing in Dallas. So something to think about.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
We'll see. We'll definitely throw up that clip, though.
The tweet. It was a tweet. I don't know why I keep.
This is a section for the clipboard. Okay. Let's see. There's a couple other things I
mentioned probably talking a little bit about the new album, like just a little bit of music.
So Drake just dropped a new album.
Yeah, Drake. And
your boy, let's see the shirt, bro. Let's see. Can we get a? There we go. I think we can see it.
Yeah, sure.
And Mod is pretty much known as our certified butter boy.
Yeah.
And so the little people are actually faces, like his emojis, emojis.
So shout out my buddy Ethan.
That's a fire ass.
He got this for me for Secret Santa.
That's what's up, man.
And so it was, honestly, I thought it was the craziest thing. It was cool, man. I enjoy it. So I'm gonna try to keep the
ugly
sweaters going until we get to our Christmas episode.
Cool. So. Yeah, I think I'll have to try to get a couple so I can join in.
Yeah. Album was good. I thought it was fantastic.
What's your favorite song?
Sorry, I don't know.
I think mine is Circo Loco. That one has a fire beat.
I'm gonna tell you.
First of all, I love 21 Savage and Drake. And let me say this: love their music. If there's any other nonsense going on with them, I'm just purely talking about their music. Because I say like one thing and it's like whoever ends up doing some nonsense like outside of it.
Yeah. Middle of the Ocean. I think it's like one of Drake's
Middle of the Ocean
best songs ever, and it's only a Drake song, but I think for me it just, like, from start to finish, like, he was for sure sipping on something fancy when that beat switches up.
Dude, I don't even know that one now. I'll have to run through it again.
That one's really good, and then I really love Broke Boys, because there's a back and forth on there that's super good.
I've heard that one. That one's fire.
And then the beat switch towards the end is just stupid.
Let's see. There's one.
But I saw a lot of comments where people were wanting more 21, and I totally understand, because I do feel it's like 70-20, maybe like 70-30. Again, my math. Drake to 21.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, if you listen to the album, you can just hear 21 had his hand on everything. because a lot of the beats.
I was about to, a lot of the beats sound like 21 beats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because I kept thinking, I was like, dude, like these sound like, because some of 21 Savage's like songs, the beats are just absolute fire.
He has like this style that I love. I love 21 Savage, like his flow and everything. It's very dynamic and it's unique, and you just know when he gets on the mic, and he's usually really good. His lyrics are really good too.
Yeah.
But one of the other things too that I liked a lot was I like that on 21's single song, like 3 a.m. He tried a little bit. It's like a Drake beat kind of. So I like that a lot. Like
he was trying to get on his. That's cool.
Trying to do his style. So I wish they would have done a little bit more of that. Like maybe one more 21 song, like on a.
I like this one 1,000 times better than Drake's kind of random one. But what's that song? What's the Jimmy Cooks? That one's one of my absolute favorite songs though. So I will say that.
It's interesting. So I think. So a lot of people hated that album, and I didn't hate it so much as like I think he's earned the right to.
I feel like he's deserved the right to experiment.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's kind of what I appreciate. Like, hey, you're gonna step out on a limb. This might not be for everybody, but I'm gonna drop it because I have it. So whatever. So that's like one thing I appreciate about Drake is that he'll end up putting out something that, maybe he did sit on that the other
CLB.
one. Yeah.
Shout out CLB.
Yeah, CLB.
But yeah, man, good stuff. I enjoyed the album.
Did you like Spin About You? That one's another one. That one's another fire one.
Dude, honestly, no skips for me. There are just a couple songs where I'm okay with letting it just kind of play and not really vibing to it, but for the most part, from start to finish, I enjoyed like the whole thing. Like, it's been a while since I could say that, so it had me in my Drake feels. So I went back and listened today, and man, Take Care was so good. I didn't realize Take Care. If I had to say best album from Drake ever, it's Take Care. Or if
Take Care is one of my like absolute favorites. Actually.
If you're reading this, It's Too Late is probably, you could do 1A, 1B, but Take Care is just so good. Like if you go back into like the interlude with Kendrick Lamar, and it's crazy. It's literally the Kendrick Lamar on the whole thing, and I don't think people realize like how deep that song is. Like if you go back and listen to it, like it's crazy. Go back, give it a re-listen. But yeah, Take Care from top to bottom, best Drake album.
Mario is like our honorary Little Drake. Little Drake. If Mario was any celebrity, it's Drake.
Interesting enough, like I'm not saying I look like him, but I've had people tell me like
you give off Drake vibes.
Drake vibes are like I look like him from the side. So I don't always know if that's a good thing because he gets a lot of shit talked about him, and rightfully so for some of the things that he's done. But like, I mean, we've all done
he killing it. He killing the game. Okay. That was one of the things. Another thing that we wanted to talk about was the upcoming UFC fights. We can wait for the next segment, or how are we doing on time? We're probably running into this.
We're like at 23 minutes right now.
Okay, so we got to do a short segment. We probably don't want to do UFC.
We'll do the UFC on the next segment. Yeah. There was something else that we had mentioned.
We have the Cologne thing. We can wait for the Cologne. We got enough time right now.
We can do it right now. So,
cool.
Okay, so let me...
Okay. He's reaching for it. Out of reach. So, Mario brought... okay, so we did shout out this cologne at our last pod. This is the Aqua de Jour. So super fresh. I'm actually wearing it right now. Smells amazing. I think you can wear it any time of year, but it's actually kind of a light aqua scent that I think kind of goes with.
It's a classic for sure. Like I hate that they reformulated it and it doesn't last as long and it's not as strong, but it's still just one of the best things I've ever smelled.
Mod says it doesn't last as strong, and I'll give 2-3 puffs and that's gonna last me like most of the day.
I think I could become noseblind, but I'm being honest. Like it used to last way longer. Like, 100%. It used to project like crazy too.
Yeah, I don't remember the old one as much.
First designer cologne I ever bought was Aqua de Jour.
Really?
Yeah, I'll never forget it too. Because I bought it and I was like, man, this is amazing. This is what adults smell like, huh?
This is what adults smell. Bro, I had like some Hollister colognes that.
No, so speaking of Hollister,
funny that you say that.
That is still highly regarded. Like if you can find an old bottle of it,
bro. I have 2 old bottles of like a Jake cologne, which like swear to God, that's like one of my all time favorites. And then there's another one called Drift that I have that my buddy Coda, one of my best friends from back home, shout out. He gave the last little bit of the bottle and he's like, bro, you wear this for your wedding. I think he thought my wedding was happening way sooner than it's happened. I think things have changed. He's like, this dude will get married in the next 2 or 3 years. That was like in 2010.
Damn, that was like 12 years ago, bro.
12 years later, your boy's still not. So I still have that cologne. Shout out. It's in a tin can. It's like, it's in its bottle in a tin can, trying to make sure that it doesn't evaporate. So
wait, is it John Paul?
No, this one's Drift, I think. That, and then there's another one called Jake that's like, that used to be fire, but then they reformulated that Jake one, and then I can never wear it again.
Yeah, John Paul Gaultier is like Lamel, like Ultra. I have one of those. I'll bring that one next time. It looks like a man. We'll put a picture.
Oh yeah, I know exactly which one.
Like a mannequin. Fantastic. It comes in a can too, and I really like. I'll bring the one that I have that I just.
Yeah. I think we're going to run out of time. So what we'll do is we'll take a break right now and stay tuned, and we'll come back and bring you the cologne stuff. So
cool.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, cool. So we're back.
Pretty Ricky.
All right. Okay, so
welcome back, guys. All right.
Sorry.
I don't know what's going on. Mine is about to choke on it.
I was burping, bro. I was so sorry about to choke on the fucking mic.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
All right. So welcome back, guys. We're coming back to you guys for our next segment. We kind of alluded to some cologne that Marty wanted to kind of show us. So let's. What's the name of this one, bro?
So this is Dolce & Gabbana, the one, but this is the EDP. So EDP? I've had both. This is like one of the.
We'll go. How's it? How long does it last?
So I would say like you're good at like 3 to 4 hours, and then you need to reapply. Right, for an EDP, it's not very strong. Projection isn't really good, but for a date and just a smell in general, it is amazing. Like I'm telling you right now, like this is one of the best things I've ever smelled. It is like world renowned. Like this is one of the top. Like everyone always says, Dolce & Gabbana.
You'll see like the fragrances spots. Like you'll see them even like on Instagram and TikTok, and like that is always one of the bottles that I've seen, but I've never actually smelled it. So
the nice thing about this one too is like price wise, super affordable, man. I got this big bottle for $70.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's a good. It's a good price for an
big
EDP
bottle like that.
And a big bottle. But like I'm telling you, man, on a date or even just at home, like it's such a like, how would I say this? It's a very like enticing smell. Like you smell it and you're like, what was that? Like is
it a sensual, sexual smell?
Yeah.
All right, bro. So I've never had it. So let's get a little.
We're gonna get
Nate's
real quick. First reaction right now.
Cool.
All right.
We're gonna do it on the skin like we told you guys last time. All right, bro. So.
Go ahead.
You
want me to hit you? Want me to hit you?
Hit me
like he's a test strip over here.
I'm a test strip.
Oops.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Let that whiff.
So, in the meantime, how about you give us some of the...
So, what do you smell right away?
Ooh, that smells good.
Oh, my God. Dude, I'm telling you. Okay, let me pull it up real quick. We're going to pull this up real quick. Oh, my God. That smells good.
So, I smell some, like, vanilla... But then there's like some spices. Ooh, that smells really good, dude.
Dude,
bro, I swear I went in like I was at a cologne spot for what seemed like an hour and some change, and they never brought up this cologne, so I don't know what was going on. But this smells.
That's why you have your boy.
This smells fantastic.
So it's described, and this is from Fragnatica. Is that how you say it? Sorry, don't kill me. I'm sorry. It's a woody, spicy fragrance for men.
Okay, spice. Definitely getting that spice.
So for sure, let me see if I can get a breakdown of the notes like I did before. Okay, here we go. So the top notes are grapefruit, coriander, and basil, right? Okay. And then
didn't I get the... What was it? Say that again.
Grapefruit, coriander, and basil. Okay. You probably smell a lot more of the coriander and the basil.
Yep.
And then the grapefruit gives it that like sweetiness at first. The middle notes are ginger, cardamom, and orange blossom.
Okay.
And then the base notes are amber, tobacco, and cedar.
Ooh, that tobacco gets me every time.
So when it dries down...
I don't know what it is about that. Oh, that smells good.
It is good. I'm telling you, dude, this is like one of the sexiest things I've ever smelled. That's the best way I can describe it. But like I said, it only lasts, for me, it only lasts about 3 to 4 hours.
This is definitely a winter smell, I think. This is like a winter date smell.
Yeah, for sure. So like we mentioned last time, there's some things I wouldn't wear in the summer. I would definitely not wear this in the summer. And there's a reason for it. It's because in order to get like the full experience and really smell like that
spices, tobacco-y, it's much more of wintry.
It thrives in the cold weather, dude.
Dude, that smells fantastic.
Yeah.
So give us the name again.
So Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDP.
Check it out, guys.
Fantastic, dude.
Fantastic. That smells freaking good, dude.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to cop me one.
I know.
Of those,
we'll
so I
get
can just have 11 bottles in my.
So we'll wait till we get to the end of the episode, and I'll have Nate smell his arm again, and then we'll
do the dry. It's already dried down quite a bit.
I'm telling you, it is
really
one of the
good.
sexiest things I've ever smelled, and
that is a good.
It's nice, and so this sounds weird, but like I don't know, you got your girl rolling over, you just trying to get your place to smell good. You spray it on your sheets, and it'll have like it. No, I'm serious. Like you just spray it on your sheets or whatever, and they'll come over and they'll like be laying in bed and they'll be like, oh my god, what's that smell?
Dude, that's I'm gonna have to copy you on that one. It's too good.
Really
that's
good.
Too good. Dude, I literally almost described that exact thing in terms of being like, I'm looking for like a smoky, tobacco-y, woodsy smell, and I like went through almost all the ways that you described it. This never got brought up whenever I went to go check out. So it's definitely check it out. Maybe that one's not coming up whenever they're selling you guys cologne. So definitely ask about it.
So what happens a lot of times too when you go to perfumers, right, or you go to Dillard's or Macy's or whatever, sometimes they don't know, right? They sell you things, and I'm not saying that they don't know their perfumes or their colognes, but I don't think they understand the differences sometimes. So you'll go to buy something and you won't even understand like there's an EDT, an EDP. So
they're usually pretty good about knowing that, but maybe not the notes. Maybe not as familiar with the notes.
So there've been times like, for example, like I would say like Bleu de Chanel. The EDP is for sure the one that everyone wears. The one that's always like, I want Bleu de Chanel. It's not the EDT, it's the EDP that everyone always buys. So for example, like this, you might go over there and they might give you the EDT, and you're like, yeah, it smells good. That he was right. But the EDP is just something about it, and it's a different level, and the EDT doesn't last at all. I wish it did, because it does have a little bit different smell, but the smokiness and the more tobacco-ness in this one is top notch.
That one smacks, dude. So check that one out. Definitely, that's a winner.
Yeah.
We kind of want to talk a little bit about some
UFC fights.
We do UFC fights last section. What do you think?
Yeah,
and then we can do
That's cool.
the buys.
Yeah.
So a couple of things that you guys can take I'm sure you guys have already seen it. If you're looking for something for your boyfriend, brother, husband, whoever, significant other, or significant male other, friend. Yep. A couple things that you guys can take an eye or keep an eye out for. So actually, if you can give me that box, there's a couple of different things. I'll stick to kind of the tech stuff for now, but stuff at Best Buy that you guys might want to check out. Super affordable little things. This is like a Google Mini Home. This is gonna probably sell for like $20-ish or whatever at Best Buy. There's the bigger one that is like a Google Home that has the screen. That one's around $40 to $50.
They sometimes give those away, right?
You can package them sometimes if you get them with like certain Google items. So that's another thing too. Is if you look at the app, the Best Buy app, or if you have like the Best Buy like thing in the mail, sometimes they'll have like bundles that you can get, and so you'll get those free with them. So that's something that's to keep an eye out for. Other things that are on sale, or there's like a ton of TVs, and so if you're looking for like 55-inch, 65-inch, 75-inch TVs, there's a whole bunch out.
That's some good deals right now.
Yeah, man. So there's some different layers in terms of like the tiers and how expensive they are. And if you guys have questions, I am like well versed in which TVs are worth what amounts, but there's lots of really good Samsung TVs right now, and if you need the exact models, I can give you the exact models. And so if you're looking for specific types, I can kind of give you, or depending on what your budget is, I can try to get you locked into like the best one. So that's actually Mario's buddy actually reached out to him about one.
Shout out Jordan.
Yeah, and so he had actually asked about, I think, a QN90 B Samsung. So I'm just going to be saying letters to you guys essentially, but that was like a very high-end Samsung TV, but it was like, I think this one was like only a 40-some-inch, 48-inch, and then there was a 55-inch, which is almost with an almost exact same panel with the same price, but it was going to be a bigger TV. So always good to ask too. I think that sometimes like you'll like walk into a Best Buy and there's like a huge TV. It's like, oh, it's a 65-inch TV, fantastic. But then they'll swindle you because they're like, it's like a panel or like a TV that's like 2, 3, 4 years old and may not be worth that amount. So you just got to be careful in terms of which TVs you guys get. So one of the apps or websites I tend to use is called Ratings. It's TINGS, and that helps like give you breakdowns of what are like top TVs. But lots of good TVs, like anywhere from $500-$600 to like $1,600 to $2,400, depending on what your range is. Yeah. But like some really good deals where like some of them that would normally be $500-$700 more expensive or on sale because of like the Black Friday sale that's already started. So
yeah. And as a former Best Buy employee, I will say, just because it looks good in the showroom doesn't mean that it's going to look good in your house. Like there are certain things to keep in mind. Like for example, like OLEDs, they're not as bright as your QLED, right? So if you have a really bright room, and
good. This is actually, go ahead. Sorry.
No. You just need to keep that in mind because a QLED, even though the OLED is going to have better blacks, you're going to get a better picture quality with that because you need more light in a bright room. And so anyway.
Yeah, I could give you a breakdown. So like Mario's kind of explaining. So OLEDs are a specific type of TV panels, and their pixel or the light turns off for every individual pixel. So they have perfect blacks. So that means like whenever you have a black screen and you have like something going on where it's lit and has like color, that means all the black around it, it's actually the pixel is actually turned off. And so those are really fantastic for dark rooms. True black. So those are fantastic. Those are the best. Like if you asked anybody in terms of like what the best type of panel is, it's typically an OLED
for sure.
There's newer OLEDs called Evo OLEDs that LG sells that get a little bit brighter. But one of the knocks with OLEDs is that they don't get as bright, so they don't do as well with like really bright rooms. Yeah. So Samsung kind of combats that because they had QLEDs, and so they could get pretty close to the same type of blackness, but not quite the same because they have individual zones within the TV that turn off to help give that black look. And then they also even have like a Neo QLED, which has it's a mini LED, so there's even smaller zones, and so that helps give a better black to it. So if you had to tier it, you would have to probably OLED at the very top. You have Neo QLED, which is like basically a mini LED. So there's some LGs and Samsungs that have those. For
Sony probably too, right?
And Sony has some of those. I don't know what Sony calls
OLED.
them. Yeah, they have. Sony has OLED. So LG has OLED.
So just real quick to jump into that. So I also heard. So Samsung's getting into the OLED game.
Didn't they already?
And I heard that actually Sony switched panels from going with the LG panels to going with the Samsung panels. So for whatever that's worth, I'm not 100% on that. I thought I saw that on a video recently. But just keep that in mind when we get back into the OLED talk.
Yeah, we might have to come back. So we have OLEDs and then Neo QLEDs, and then or QNEDs, and then you have QLEDs, which is the next panel, which is like has very good like contrast, like very bright poppy looking colors, and then you have normal LED, and so price wise it'll vary, and so depending on what you guys are looking for, depending on the budget, please reach out. Would love to give you guys any recommendations.
Gaming TV, like I would
just give you recommendations on gaming TVs.
If you have a newer console, like a newer gen.
Speaking of that, if you have a newer console, like a PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, you're going to want to look for a thing called HDMI 2.1, and that helps allow it to get the frame rate or refresh rate so that it's going up so that it's going to look as smooth as possible. So that's the one thing that you need to pay attention to with those newer Xboxes and newer PlayStations.
Yeah, or
computers.
Otherwise, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the super crisp refresh rate that they offer.
Great suggestion.
But yeah, just things to keep in mind. I mean, we're definitely going to be talking more about TVs.
We'll have a list at least for the next one coming up, especially with Black Friday just around the corner. I'll throw in a couple of things to keep a lookout for. Other things that you guys might want to be looking for is if you're looking for like new laptops, there's some really good deals on some Macs. There's some M1 Macs, like either Pros or Airs that are like the last generation model that are like anywhere from like $700 to $900, and then even the latest models, which are the M2 models, there's Airs that are like running, I think they're like $200-$300 off right now. So lots of deals right now.
Good stuff, man.
Keep a look at it. Now an eye out for Costco and Best Buy and Sam's. One thing too with Best Buy is they'll price match. So if you happen to find something at like Costco or something like that, you can like take it to Best Buy and be like, hey, I'm going to get that.
They'll do Amazon as well, but it has to be shipped and sold by Amazon.
Great.
So just keep that in mind. Like if you
Good
see
tip.
something on Amazon and you run to Best Buy and you're like, holy shit. I used to work there, so I know like you have to. It has to be shipped and sold by Amazon.
Yeah, I lucked out because there was like a super sweet deal on some AirPods Maxes.
Yeah,
and I ended up taking them back. They weren't for me, but I got a heck of a deal.
Yeah, that was a great deal.
Yeah, super.
One thing that was always a still, like I shouldn't say a still, but that was a great, like you're gonna price match to Amazon SD cards. So if you need a super expensive SD card, Best Buy's sometimes is pretty non-negotiable about their pricing, but Amazon always seems to have a really good deal on SD cards. So definitely look for those on Amazon, shipped and sold, and Best Buy will match them. Like I even had to like there've been a couple of times where they couldn't believe how much of a deal that Amazon was having them for on the super expensive SD cards, and like the SD cards for my camera are really expensive. Like so just
good tip.
That's and even hard drives too. So those are some things that like you can typically find on Amazon for a really good deal, and Best Buy they'll match it as long as it, like I said, shipped and sold by Amazon. So
cool. All right, we got how much? 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
We could probably talk about the fights for 10 minutes. I think.
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep today's episode pretty short, and so we can double up this week and come back to you guys with some good stuff on Friday. So
yeah. Okay, so UFC coming up this weekend. What UFC? What number is it? UFC 2 something. Let's see. I feel bad because I should know by now, but I haven't been paying attention to the numbers.
281.
281. Israel Adesanya. I can never remember the guy. It's Pereira, but I can't remember his first name.
Alex
Pereira. Mm-hmm. So interesting about this fight. Do you know the two guys, or do you need me to kind of give you a background about it?
So I know Izzy. I mean, we watch a lot of Izzy fights. We've seen him fight for a long time.
So Izzy is the champ at 185. The dude that he's about to fight, though, has actually beaten him twice in kickboxing.
That's right. We did talk about this. Yeah, so, because we watched his last fight right before Izzy fought.
Yep.
And he knocked
starched.
Bad. Yeah. Oh my God. He put that guy on his ass.
Yeah. So the dude that he's about to, Alex Pereira, he is a beast, bro. He's he has one punch knockout power. Thing about this fight is like Izzy isn't really a grappler, so I don't really think I think it's going to turn into just a kickboxing match.
Yeah.
And so the thing with Izzy is that their first fight, Izzy was pretty confident that he actually won the first fight, that the judges kind of like threw it. Him. Yeah, so that was kind of a weird one. But then the second fight, he got knocked out by this dude.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's kind of a thing. Like he's only been knocked out once, and so that's kind of a big deal. Is that how is he going to do? Hasn't fought him in a long time, but that's kind of tough. It's going to, for sure,
he's a different fighter too.
And he's a completely different fighter, but I think that's kind of one thing that he hasn't fought anybody in the UFC that's beaten him, so it's going to be interesting to see his mindset coming into this fight.
I'm curious, so if you're Alex, right, and you've beaten him 2 times kickboxing, do you try to keep it that kickboxing,
dude?
Do you 100% switch it up? And
I don't think there's no way that they're gonna engage in any grappling. The only thing is maybe that there might be some more kind of dirty boxing, but even in kickboxing, there's quite a bit of it. The crazy thing with kickboxing is those kickboxing gloves are bigger than the UFC gloves.
Yeah, dude.
So
he laid his ass out,
bro. So that's the one thing that I'm curious to see how that works, because that dude, to my knowledge, has a pretty good chin. So I'm rooting for Izzy. I hope he actually pulls this through.
Me too,
I think
man.
this is
I like him get his revenge.
Yeah.
I do like Izzy. I like him a lot. It's just, you just never know, man. Sometimes some people have your number, like Jets and Patriots, for example. Bill Belichick just happens to own the Jets. I hope it's not one of those situations.
Sometimes it's just a matchup thing.
Third time's a charm.
So, and this dude is really tall too. I think he's 6'4", 6'5". Yeah. Izzy's 6'4", 6'5". There's not very middleweights that are that height, and so for Izzy to take on that fight,
it's 185, right?
It's 185.
So if you're putting money, would you put money on? Are you feeling that good about it, or how do you feel about it?
I don't think you're going to win very much money either way, because I think the margin's going to be tight.
Yeah, you think it'll be pretty...
Because Pereira isn't an underdog. He's not going to be a huge underdog.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that one.
It's a stacked card, man.
It's a super stacked card. So the next
co-main event is the women's fight.
So that's
Carla Esparza and Wei Li Zhang. Is that how you say it?
Dude, I think Wei Li absolutely murks Carla Esparza. Bro, I can't even believe Carla's the champ right now because I don't know if you got to see that last fight with Rose Namajunas. Bro, that is one of the top, that might be top 5 most boring fights I've ever watched in the UFC, which is really sad because I really like Rose Namajunas.
There's a lot of people that like Rose.
And for her to lose they fought before, and Carla beat her before to win, they were doing the Ultimate Fighter. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, I'm so sad that she lost her.
But the crazy part about that is we watched that. I don't know if I watched it.
I think we did. We definitely did.
So I don't know much about UFC, but I do know whoever told Rose that was the way she needed to fight that fight.
Bro, do you remember? I don't know what's going on.
She was just so non-aggressive, and I think if she had been aggressive, she would have ate that girl alive. She's just a way better fighter than her.
I think she was afraid to get taken down, but she didn't let her hands go, and it was so tough to see because she had just. Man, she just beat a couple of world beaters. She beat Wei Li a couple fights ago.
Right?
Bro, just crazy. Yeah. Just insane.
Because she knocked her out, right? And then she beat her again in the rematch?
Yes. Yeah, dude, that was an insane fight. So I think Wei Li dominates Esparza. I don't think Esparza makes it out of 3 rounds.
If Esparza wins, I'm gonna just be baffled and be what is this girl doing before fights for people to act the way they do? Because I swear, if Rose is aggressive, she slaps it on her. I'm sorry, it was just the weirdest fight. I've never seen a fight where I was just kind of that was interesting.
That was one of the worst.
Didn't have any words other than that was weird. That was
a weird fight. Fight. The next fight is this is a crazy fight. This is literally the third fight. This is the middle. This is the third fight into the main card. This is Poirier versus Chandler.
Yes, Bro,
I can't believe it's not a co-main on any other event, and I'm really sad that it's only a 3-round fight. I wish they would make it a 5-round fight because that is going to be an absolute...
Do you even think it makes it that many rounds?
Well, you know why I think they did it 3 rounds? Is I think that they wanted them to be extra aggressive.
Yeah, me too. Because they both are swingers.
Bro, they be sluggers.
Yeah, sluggers. Sorry, not swingers.
They be brawlers.
Where's that pineapple at?
Yeah. No, bro. They swing for the fence.
They really do.
And the only thing with Dustin is I'm a little afraid that it's interesting because I think that with the homie that just won the 155, the guy that just beat Charles Oliveira, I can't remember his name.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God, this is going to kill me.
He was Khabib's dude.
It's Khabib's prodigy. I can't remember his name.
I can tell you right now.
Makhachev.
Give you a check.
I think it's Makhachev. So, homie is now the 155 champ. Dustin he just seemed checked out. I really thought that his last days or last couple of fights were behind him because I just think that he's got so many other things outside of fighting. Yeah. And so I'm a little worried about his motivation. Whereas Chandler is super hungry.
So I think Chandler was a little bit on the fence of kind of having that same route. And then he got that big win last time where he front kicked.
Oh my God, dude. Who did he front kick?
Is the Kukui. No.
Ferguson? Bro, yes.
Was it Ferguson?
Yes, dude. He front kicked him to oblivion. That one of the fastest front kicks. Good call, dude.
Well, it was Ferguson,
dude,
right? Yeah.
No, it was the nastiest front kick.
Dude, I remember oh my God.
Dude, it was so fast.
And just pop.
Bro, that was
nastiest knockouts.
One of the nastiest knockouts. So I'm so excited for this fight. I'm rooting for Dustin because he's my boy. But if Chandler wins, good for him.
I'm just looking for a good fight because I like both of these guys. And honestly, I think if Chandler had won his second fight, he would be the champ right now still. Because he fought Oliveira, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Dude, that was a close fight. Yes. He almost had him knocked out.
Yeah, he did.
Dude, Charles Oliveira
has gotten away with some
Bro, no, you know what it was? Is that nobody could jump on him. Because they were afraid. They would, kind of knock him down to the ground, but nobody wanted to get to the ground because he would tap them out. This Makhachev guy, he got him to the ground, and he's like,
this is where
I live here.
I want to be here.
Yeah, he's like, So he freaking tapped him out.
Yeah, dude.
That's unheard of. The only other person that I know of that has tapped out Oliveira is Anthony Pettis. Right. It's been a long time.
And then he started his run.
And then he started his super long run.
Crazy run.
Yeah,
good for him, man. He had one of probably the best runs in recent memory.
I'm curious to see if they have them run it back, but I do not think they
will. I don't know. I don't think they will.
It sounded like a pretty down. I missed that fight.
He wants to fight
he wants to fight the 145. He wants to fight
I can't remember his name. The
Alexander
No.
Volkanovski.
Yes, and they've been talking shit on Twitter.
Yeah, they've been going at it. I think they're definitely trying to sell the fight. But
I would totally be down to see that fight because he's
a monster at 145. He's arguably the greatest of all time, dude. Because he's just
Holloway an animal, dude.
Holloway was probably perceived as the greatest there for a while, and then Volkanovski has been like unbeatable.
Yeah, dude.
So
it's a really good card. So like next fight after that is Frankie Edgar and Chris Gutierrez.
That'll be a good fight.
Yeah,
Frankie Edgar is always a great fight.
I like watching Frankie. He's a good fighter.
Legend.
And then the last one is Dan Hooker and
Dan Hooker's a
Claudio Puelles.
I don't know who he's fighting, but Dan Hooker is a beast. He's super entertaining.
Yeah, so it's a good card all the way around.
I'm stacked. I'm so excited because there's so many cards that I'm like, I know the main card, I know the second, like the main and co-main, and then like sometimes it's just absolute nobodies, and like this card is super stacked. I'm super
fingers crossed everyone makes weight. You know, that's always a thing. So we'll come back to you on Friday if someone doesn't make weight. But
So we can do the quick fight picks. I think we have a couple.
Go ahead.
Minutes,
we got about 5 minutes left.
So I'm going Izzy out of just sheer hoping that he wins.
Yeah.
I'm going Wei Li. I'm going Dustin Poirier.
Okay.
Going Frankie Edgar, and I'm going Dan Hooker.
What round for each fight?
Oh God. The main is, man. The main, I think that if Izzy wins, it'll be like a judge's decision.
He just beats his ass.
He outpoints him. If the other guy wins, Pineda wins, it's a knockout.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's a knockout. Okay. And then Wei Li, I think it's a TKO. I think she finishes her within the first.
I'm giving her.
I'm going first 2 rounds. I think she might get her out of
there.
The only thing is Carla Esparza is good about like kind of running a little bit. Like she can be pretty defensive.
She's slick, dude. She's tiny, so she gets in and out.
I don't. She might make it out of the second round, but I actually think that Wei Li finishes her before the first 2 rounds.
Okay,
and then Dustin, I think wins in. I think it goes only 1. I think they go for the Hail Mary.
Okay,
yeah, I go Dustin 1. Dude, if you guys pick these and you guys win any money, can you just kick me back a couple bucks, bro? Bro,
don't kick me back.
Yeah,
I'm just
Edgar. I don't know. I'm saying a decision, Edgar, and then the Dan Hooker fight, KO by Dan Hooker.
Fight of the night. Which one do you think is going to win fight of the night?
Oh, for sure, Chandler Poirier.
Okay, cool. I just figured we'd ask all these questions because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, great.
So I'm gonna say I agree with everything except I think Chandler wins that fight.
That's my Chandler's hungry, bro. Chandler's hungry, and if Dustin doesn't come with the right mindset, the one thing with Dustin, and if this happens, I'm gonna be sad, but if Dustin loses, he might retire.
So that's my only. That would be wild, by the way, if that happens.
If this happens, I call it.
That's my only difference between you, and I might take Claudio just because he's a no name. I don't know who he is.
I don't know him that well,
and maybe Dan Hooker doesn't really know. But anyway, you just never know, right? Like they put him on the card for a reason, so they must think he's a good fight for this. I think
matchup. Dan Hooker needs a win, so he better.
And that could be it too, right? He needs a win, and so they're like, "We'll just throw this guy on here. He's got a decent record. He's 13-2, so."
No, it's a super solid record.
Yeah. So we'll see, but I agree with you. That's my only difference, just because I think Michael Chandler's got a sense of like, okay, I can really do this. He was on a little bit of a slip there.
He's got to win this one because if he doesn't, like, he's gonna be in no man's land. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we might call it unless we think of something else. This is kind of like a short pod. We just wanted to get something out, and we might drop another one. We have our buddy Ali that might be joining us in the next couple of pods. And so we might even get him for the next one. We might even do a fight companion for the UFC fight, and we might just have a couple of us, me, Mod, and maybe one of my other buddies too that's really UFC savant. So we'll see what's up. Well, hopefully we can do it. Maybe we might even do a fight companion.
Man, we'll go live and we can just talk about the fight as it's happening. Like we get into it, like we really do. We geek out. We're like kids, man. So okay, cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our Instagram, YouTube, or TikToks. We'll put in the links here. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
See you guys.